Hey, good afternoon, social media socialites. If you're watching this on the replay, this is a live video that I'm doing. So I am out of town. I am at my hotel, and I wasn't feeling too hot today, but I was getting a lot of messages and comments about personal credit repair. So I did a live Q&A a couple days ago where I was giving out free business credit consulting. And so some people were asking me about personal credit. So here in my hotel room, I'm out of town on a business trip. Like I said, I wasn't feeling that well. So I was responding to a lot of messages that I get. Now, if you're watching this for the first time and you don't know who I am, my name is E.DeanCole, and I own DeanCole Financial. We are a consulting firm that specializes in working capital, alternative finance, and business credit development. And in the business credit development, we actually have an online course. And in our online course, we teach you how to build business credit, and we actually give you personal credit for free. And I have a ton of videos about business credit. So as I mentioned, I did a video where we went for like 2 hours, and I was teaching about business credit. And so if you're watching this on the replay, if you look up here, you will be able to actually see that video. So, but this, we're going to talk about specifically personal credit. So I just hit the live button, and we have 53 people that just chimed in live. So you guys know the rule, you know the routine. I want all 53 of you guys to hit the like button right now. Let's see who was the first person to comment. Was it Conscious Ether? Conscious Ether. Conscious Ether. Conscious Ether. Conscious Ether is in the building. Conscious Ether is the king of the notification squad. Now, if you're watching this on the replay and you want to know who I'm talking to, YouTube did a really cool thing, and you can actually look at the live comments now. Before they would not allow you to do that. So Conscious Ether was the first person to comment. Appreciate you so much for coming in, Conscious Ether. Now, let me tell you guys something. I'm not going to be on here tremendously long tonight. Like I said, I wasn't feeling too hot, and I just ordered something from room service. So when the room service gets here, then I'm probably going to call it a night. But I did want to talk about some credit hacks, or specifically some credit repair secrets for 2018 that lenders do not want you to know. Now, let's do a temperature check for everybody that's watching. And even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to participate. I want you to make a mind muscle connection. So what's going on, Mr. 804? I appreciate you. So we have 62 people watching right now with 40 thumbs up. Let's see if we can get those thumbs up to match the likes. 60 thumbs up, 60 likes. Now, most of you guys know that I worked in banking and finance before I started my consulting firm. Technically, I've been in banking and finance for over 18 years. I say 20 years, round up. So you guys know that. If you know this, even if you're watching on the replay, I want you to make a mind muscle connection with this. I want you to say know it. If you didn't know, I want you to say didn't know. So I worked in banking and finance for 20 years before I started my consulting firm. And specifically in the banking and finance, I worked as a loan officer, I worked as a loan processor, and I also worked with underwriting in the underwriting department. So what makes my coaching so successful is that I teach underwriting guidelines. And so when you are an employee of the bank and you teach underwriting guidelines, that is illegal. Banks don't want you to know that, because it is a violation of a lot of the terms and agreement. It's a violation of they call it, the specific term that they call it is the Credit Equal Opportunity Act, because they feel if everybody is ignorant, then everybody has equal opportunity for credit. They also feel that when you give out, when they give out credit, they give it independent of somebody's nationality, their religious beliefs, their ethnos, their sexual proclivities. All of that is completely separate when they give out credit. And that is based on ignorance, okay? They're saying that the United States of America, the average person in the United States of America is so ignorant that they have equal opportunity for credit. But in my course, I teach you so that there is no equal opportunity for credit. I teach you the hacks and the tricks. Now, I do not charge for credit repair. Hear me and hear me clearly. If you are a company that does credit repair and you are not a nonprofit organization and you charge for credit repair, then it is illegal. So what do? I give it to you for free. So that being said, in 10 days, hear me now, in 10 days, okay, I am going to have a free course that's going to teach you how to repair and restore your credit for free. Okay, so watch the timing of this video. If you are watching this video after the 10 days, then if you look in the description, you'll find it. It's going to say free video. I started to do this before, and I actually had a course that I gave to a nonprofit organization, but they really weren't a nonprofit organization. It was a company that was defrauding and doing some things that was very illegal, and I completely shut it down, completely revamped it, completely shut it all the way down, and I sat down on it because of the situation between that company and I. Most of you guys might know who that company is if you guys follow me on Facebook, if you follow me on Instagram. But so in 10 days, I'm going to have a free, capital FREE, course on credit repair that is relevant. It is not going to cost you anything at all. Now, it is not going to be as detailed as our paid content, all right? Where we talk about business credit and we go into all the ins and outs and outs and ins. But if you want to boost your credit score 100 points and you are watching this, then this will be the course. Now, this is live, all right? So now I have a lot of clients that are watching me. So if any of my clients, now clients also, if you've paid me before, don't worry, they're not going to get all of the content that we have for free, okay? I mean, they're not going to get all that content for free for your paid content. But if you're watching this and you're a client, so if you're watching on the replay, I want you to go back and look at these comments. If you, and even if you're watching this on the replay, if you have been following me on YouTube or Instagram, or you're a client of mine, and your credit score has gone up at least 75 points, even though the course is going to teach you 100. But if your credit score has gone up at least 75 points, I want you to say it has. All right. If you're watching this on the replay, I want you to say it has. If your credit score has gone up 75 points or higher, I want you to say it has. So everybody that's watching this, look at the comments below so that you can see the that this is live. You know, I have not planning this at all. This was not anything planned. I did see that somebody did give me a super chat, and I am going to answer your question because you gave me that super chat. But so what I'm going to do is I am going to, so let's go ahead and see who has. Dion Wild says it has. Nice, great topic and information. So many people need to hear this. Yes. Zen Queen, absolutely. Roderick Sharp says it has. All right. So Motivation the Truth says it has 141 points. Motivation the Truth. All right, Brandon Winter says it has. So like I said, if you this is live, okay? And this was not planned. I just decided to hit the button while I wait for my room service to come in. And like I said, I'm not feeling the best. So if you're watching this on the replay, even if your credit score is going up, and it has gone up, I want you to say it has. And like Motivation the Truth said, if you want to share how much it went up, it did go up. And share, let people know, because you know men lie all the time. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. But let me get into the breakdown of everything. So the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of industry things that are going on, and I've been doing research. Like I said, I'm in my bed, not feeling too hot all day today, and on this business trip, and I was doing a lot of research on credit repair because of something somebody told me. I did the free consultation. Like I said, there's a link up here that'll take you to where I talked for 3 hours. I answered phone calls. I was in my home office, and somebody was asking me a lot of questions about personal credit. They said, Dean, do you do personal credit? And this company told this person to get a secured credit card for $500. This person paid $500 for a secured credit card. And then after they paid $500 for the secured credit card, then the person bought a trade line. They paid another $500 for a trade line. The trade line was only for $1,000. And the person said that their credit score only went up 30 points. So let's do a temperature check. If any of you that are watching right now, if anybody has told you in order to fix your credit, you have to get a secured credit card, I want you to say, they told me. 3 words. They told me. Even if you're watching on the replay, I want to get your interaction. I want you to make a mind muscle connection with this. So if anybody has ever told you the first thing that you need to do in order to get to build your credit is to get a secured credit card, I want you to say, they told me. All right, that's one of the biggest hurdles. This is a secret. Like I said, this is credit repair secrets for 2018 that lenders do not want you to know. All right, so I want all of you guys to participate. So let's go ahead and see who's all participating. All right, we have 112 people watching and only 70 thumbs up. The devil is a lie. Let's go ahead and get those thumbs up. Let's get at least. Do I really have over 30 haters and trolls that are watching me? So if you are a supporter, I want you to hit that thumbs up button. I want you to hit the like button, and I also want you to share this. So let's go ahead and see who is participating. Thank you so much for participating. Now, someone asked a question. DeanCole says, "Sorry, I'm late, but do I still give free consultations?" So the free consultations that I give is only for clients that are enrolled into our executive coaching, which is our mentorship. But if you wanted to schedule a one-on-one consultation, I charge $150 an hour. Or you have to catch me live like this. Like if you look at the video I did 2 days ago, I was on for 3 hours and I was giving out free consultations live. So you have to do that. And also, when you are a client that's in the startup coaching, we have live Q&As that we do in our private Facebook group. But so I answered your question. I didn't want to ignore that super chat, so I'm grateful for that super chat. And if you're watching on the replay and you want to see these live comments, click below to where it says a live chat, and you'll be able to see these comments live. So that's pretty cool that YouTube has allowed that. So let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, so let's see who's participating. All right, so the first person who's participating was... All right, so the first person says, you got the 700 this month. Awesome, congratulations, Dion. Greetings, Brother Dean. Danger, Remy. All right. So the first person to participate was Savannah Sims. Hey, Savannah, thank you so much for participating, Savannah. Savannah Sims says they told me. All right, Boy Dog says they told me. Great information. I appreciate you so much for that. Dion says they told me. Adam says they told me. All right, Bayon says they told me. Johnny Smith says they told me. Lawrence says they told me. Tyshawn says they told me. Brendan says they told me. They told me, but it was a lie. Ronnie Wilson said they told me, but it was a lie. Yes, Ronnie Wilson. And a lot of times it's the blind leading the blind. So they told me, yes. They told me. It's a gang of people that said that they told me, yes. All right, Derek said they told me, yes. So what happened is... So Mario Caldwell, you say that you're unable to log into the course. Mario, make sure that you call the office and speak to Patricia on Monday. Today is Saturday. So Mario, call on Monday to speak to Patricia. Call the office if you're unable to log in. Let's see why you're unable to log in. But as you can see, Mario, it is a Saturday. I'm at a hotel, and I'm not able to do that. So on Monday, make sure you call the office and speak to Patricia, and or Zion. Speak with Zion or Patricia, depending on who answers the phone, and they'll be able to figure out what's going on, why you're not able to log into the course. You probably forgot your password or something. But nevertheless, so most of everybody that says that they told me, even if you're watching on the replay, I want you to make the comment, they told me. Now, what happens is this. When you have bad credit or you have no credit, it is hard to get credit. It is very difficult to get credit. Banks make it that way. That's the reason why old information, people who don't know banking and finance and don't know industry standards will tell you to get a secured credit card. I'm going to do a video that talks about why you should never get a secured credit card. But this video, we're talking about the secrets, okay? So I'm going to share with you guys 5 secrets. Now, remember, in 10 days, I'm going to actually launch the free, it's going to be a free course. It's just free. All I need to do is just revitalize the old course that I gave to that nonprofit. I just need to tweak some stuff to it and it'll be done. Now, what happens is that this is the first secret. I'm gonna give you 5 tonight. This is the first one. I'm not gonna be long like I was before. This is not gonna be 3 hours. Hopefully it's only gonna be 30 minutes. So what happens is that when people tell you to get a secured credit cards used to be one of the only ways for you to get credit. It used to be one of the only ways for you to get credit. And what would happen is if you were to go through and you were to get credit, it does establish a credit profile. All right. But this is 2018. This is not 1998. So the difference is if you go and you get a secured credit card for $500, what happens is the first thing is that you just invested $500, even though it's still your own money. Most of the time they have higher interest rates, and most of the time they have fees involved. So out of the $500, you probably only get really $300 to use for credit. Just hypothetically speaking, most of the time. And so what happens after that is that now on your credit profile, you have what's considered a high risk credit account. And guess what, guys? Even though we are in the United States of America, the land of the quote unquote free and the home of the quote unquote braves, banking institutions and the lending institutions, even though they use even though they go by the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, supposedly, based on the type of accounts that you have, they put you in a criteria of risk. Did you guys know that when you have lenders to look at your credit report, that they evaluate you by risk? Did you know that? That they don't discriminate against you by the color of your skin. They don't discriminate against you by your sexual proclivity. They don't discriminate against you about your nationality or your ethnos, but they do discriminate against you about your risk. Did you know that? If you knew that, I want you to say knew it. If you didn't know that, I want you to say didn't know. Even if you're watching me on the replay, I want you to make a mind muscle connection with this if you were catching me live. And if you're watching this, you're like, Dean, I've seen you live before, but I mean, I've seen your videos, but I didn't get a chance to catch you live. Two things. Thing number one, you've seen my video before, but you never subscribed. Or thing number two, you did subscribe, but you did not hit the bell. So let's go ahead and see all the people that are participating live right now who knew or did not know. Okay. All right. So Daryl Alexander says he knew that. All right. Bishop Blueprint says didn't know. All right, Alex Express, who is now a moderator. Notice you got the wrench, Alex Express. He says, I knew it. Thank you for your support, Alex Express. All right, Toll says he knew that. All right, Lawrence says didn't know. All right, Conscious Ether said didn't know. Aaliyah says she didn't know. Tyson said didn't know. Omar Perry says knew that. All right, Maurice says knew it. Samantha Sims said didn't know. Antonio Tate says didn't know. Mabel Powell says didn't know. So most of you guys, if I could do a brief synopsis fairly quickly, if I'm looking at all the comments, most of you guys did not know that. Yes. So that is how they discriminate against you. They don't discriminate against you by your religion, your sexual proclivity, your ethnos, your geographic, but they do discriminate against you by your risk class. And guess what a secure credit card does? A secure credit card will instantly put you in a higher risk class. Yes, this is a secret they do not want you to know. So what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to get good credit, or how are you supposed to establish credit if a secure credit card is the worst thing for you to do? This is what you're able to do. You're able to open up lines of credit with other lenders. Remember, this is 2018, not 1998. You're able to open up lines of credit with other lenders that report to all through credit bureaus, but that does not show up as a secured credit card, but it actually shows up as an unsecured loan. There are lenders that will give you $5,000, $5,000, $3,000, $2,000 of unsecured credit that reports to all three credit bureaus, and it will boost your credit score. In the course, all right, I am going to give you a resource. There's a total of $15,000 of good, real, legitimate lines of credit that is going to post to all three credit bureaus, and they are going to allow you to boost your credit score. That's the first secret, okay? The second secret is your payment history. Now, someone gave me a super chat. So Dion says you have All right, you have. I'm sorry. Ask me that question again. I guess he says if you have one, should you cut off your secured credit card? Okay. So, and this is one thing, guys, about social media, and I do it all the time. If you go on my social media, you go on my Instagram, you go on my YouTube, you go on my Facebook, I got a lot of misspelled words. I got stuff running into stuff. So I apologize, guys. This is live. So sometimes, and I understand when you type in things come into each other, I completely get that. I completely understand. So it took me some time to understand that. So what the young lady asked me, what Dion asked me was, if you have a secured credit card, should you cut it up? It's too late. It is too late. The deal is already done. It is on your credit profile. It is on your credit history. So what should you do from here? You're still able to build your credit, and you're still able to get into better credit categories. And I'm going to teach you how to get to a better credit category, how to go from a high risk and take your risk grade up. I'm going to teach that. I'm going to complete that. I'm teaching in the course. And by the way, it's a free course, 100% free. Because remember, I am a business credit consultant. I charge for business credit. Personal credit, I'm gonna give it to you for free. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. But so I'm going to show you how you're actually able to change your risk category, okay? And that is a very good segue on how to change your risk category. So say, for instance, you are someone that has a 600 score, you're stuck in the 600s, and you cannot move past. So remember, I'm giving you 5 secrets. The first secret is do not get a secured credit card, but to get other lines of credit that show up as an unsecured line of credit, but that does not show up as a secured credit card. That's the first secret. The second secret is how you're able to change your credit class. All right. This is how you're able to change your credit class. These are 2 ways to quickly change your credit class. Most of the time, there are 3 categories of people that I meet. I would break down credit repair to 3 categories of people that I meet. It's the person that does not have credit, never had credit. They can't get a stick of gum on credit because they never had it. Person might be in college, might be in high school. They might be fresh out of a bankruptcy, or they might live in the hood, never had opportunity to, never had position to. Only thing they ever had was a Metro PCS and a light bill in their name. They never got credit. That's the first type of category. The second type of category is a person that did get credit, but then they ruined their credit. They made some mistakes. They have some late payments. They have some collections. They did not know how to manage their credit. They completely messed it up. I'm going to save them for last. The third type of person is the person that's supposed to have good credit, but their credit cards are all maxed out. They have more than 5 credit cards, and they're all maxed out, and they're all to their limit, and they don't know the reason why their credit is not good. They're leveraged and got debt up to their neck. If that is you, and you're bold enough to say it's you, I want you to say it's me, even if you're watching on the replay, okay? If that is you, I want you to say it's me. What happens is that because your credit is higher than 70%, you are still, check this out, you can have $10,000, $30,000 of credit cards, but if you are at 70% of your available credit, you're in the same risk category as somebody who has 0 credit that got a secured credit card. Okay? So if you are up at the 70% mark, at the 70% mark of the available credit, meaning that, let's break it down. If you have $100, that means that you have a balance or a bill of $70. If you have a $1,000 credit limit, but you only have $300 available credit, that's because you owe $700. You're above that 70 mark. If you guys understand that, okay? That means if you have a $500 balance, and out of the $500 balance, that means that you only have an available balance of $150 because the remainder of it is owed, okay? If that is you, that's my food. Hold on for one moment, guys. And if that is you, then I want you to be bold enough to say it's me. So hold on for a second while I get my food. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm good with you. Well, you come on in. Oh, we have 2 people.
We do.
Yes.
Okay, why?
Shadowing.
Oh, you're shadowing. It's your first day. No, not right here. Put it right here.
Up there.
Let's
Okay.
put it right
I'll
here.
go put it back for you.
It's okay. If you can take that.
Sure.
You want this one?
Yes, I'm gonna keep this.
Sure. Your signature on there.
Thank you very much. So this is your first day?
This is my third day.
Okay, congratulations. How you liking it?
I like it. Everybody's nice.
That's good. That's good. Well, when you're on the penthouse level, you that's kind of what happens.
How's your day going for you?
It's going extremely well. It's going extremely well. Hold on, let me see.
That's a nice view.
Yes, and it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty nice view. Hold on here. 75.
I did put a copy behind that.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good stuff. That's okay. That's 15. Okay. 15. All right.
Okay.
Let me make sure I sign everything. Yep, we're good to go.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
we're
thank
good
you,
to
sir.
go.
I really
Are you so
appreciate
very welcome?
it. And
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. You have a good one.
I'll have to keep a copy there.
Okay.
Thank you again.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So sorry about that. Sorry for that brief intermission. So I have my food here, and I'm going to continue teaching on this. So for the next 10 days, I'm going to go live specifically teaching on how you're able to repair and restore your personal credit, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit more. I said I'm going to give you 5 things. So the first strategy, or the first thing, is never get a secured credit card. It's going to put you in a high risk category. The second thing is that your available credit, when your available credit is up to 70% of the balance, then you have the same risk category as somebody that has a secured credit card, which is one of the highest risks you can have. So how people say, well, Dean, how is it possible to reduce my balance? Nobody wants to give me credit. How can you do it? So there are 2 ways that you can reduce your balance, okay? The first way is what we call surfing, all right? Surfing is where, let's say, for instance, you have a Capital One card, and you have a Capital One card with a $7,000 limit. This is off the top of my head, and remember, this is live. So you have a $7,000 limit, and let's say there is a Discover card that has, you get approved for a Discover card that has a $10,000 limit or a $15,000 limit. Then what you do is you surf your balance over there, and what happens is that now that $7,000 that you once had is now still open. But then on your balance of your Discover card, you now have a lower balance because what's available is about 50%. So just to use round numbers, if you take that $7,000 and you add that $7,000 to that Discover card, that's $15,000, you now are at 50%. All right, now the ideal place that you want to be is at 30% and under. 30% and under will jack your credit score up. So some people say, well, Dean, I can't qualify. I can't get those things. Well, this is what happens. If you can't qualify, you can't get those things, make sure you enroll into my course, because like I said, you're going to get $15,000. This is from multiple different resources, okay? This is from multiple different resources of guaranteed approvals, 100%. They're going to approve you. They're going to add that to your credit profile, and it's going to boost your score 100 points. Okay, so that's the second way. So the first strategy that I told you was don't get a secured credit card, but get actual unsecured loans. All right. The second strategy is to keep your balance down. Get it under the 70%. The ideal optimal place for that 750 and 800 score is you want to be at 30% and under 15%. You hitting on 800 credit scores, okay? All right, and if you don't know how to do that, like I said, I'm going to connect you with the resources for free in 10 business days. All right, and then the third strategy is if you're not able to surf your credit to the credit card company, like I said, then you have to go and get new lines of credit, and the new lines of credit are going to boost your scores, okay? Now, the fourth strategy, all right? Now, remember, I said that there are basically 3 types of people that I've seen when it comes to credit. The first type of people that I've seen when it comes to credit is the people that never have credit, don't have credit, they can't get a stick of gum because they don't have credit. The second group of people, which is the one I'm about to talk about now, are the people that went out there, they made some mistakes, that they got credit, then they got a repossession, or they got a foreclosure, or they got collections, or they got a lot of old debt. That was me. I've been out on my own ever since I was 18 years old. and I had a brand new car. Because I was on my own since I was 18 because I've been working in banking and finance at that age. I started in real estate. I started as a loan officer when I was 18 years old. So I was making great money. Even though I was working at the bank, I was dumb. I was spending money on women. I was spending money on clothes. I was spending money on eating out, riding through the city, riding through Atlanta, balling out of control. I did not understand, even though I worked for the banks, guys, I did not understand the concepts of paying your bills on time, and I did not understand the concepts, and I got a repossession. And it was the dumbest thing in my mind because I was thinking, oh, I just get to it. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh, I just get to it. And I got my car repossessed. And I didn't have a pocket full of money. I had a bank account. I think I had $1,100 in my mind. At that time, that was a lot of money. And even today, I don't mean to talk down to certain people because there's certain people that don't have that right now. But I had $1,100. I remember like it was yesterday because I remember being so mad at myself. I'm like, why did I let this get to this? And I'm thinking that I could catch it up. I didn't know. But I got a repossession when I was 18 years old on my first car. I didn't know. I was dumb. But nevertheless, there's a lot of people that are like that. So let's do a temperature check. If you are like that, if you're one of the people that got a lot of old credit. So imagine if I didn't know what I was now. And imagine me being 36 years old, 18 years old, and I messed my credit up. And let's say, for instance, I just paid cash for everything since then. And I have a lot of old credit. If you are the type of person, and even if you're watching this on the replay, all right, and I just got rid of trying to pay for credit, and I just said that, you know what, I'm just going to use cash for everything else because I messed my credit up when I was younger. I want you to say cash is king, all right? If that's you, if you're the type of person that has a lot of old negative items on your credit report that you just never dealt with and just said, you know what, credit is for the birds, I want you to say cash is king. If that's you, I'm going to show you how that you can restore and rebuild your credit even if you have a lot of old items off your credit report. So I want to let's go ahead and look at some of these comments. All right, so Sydney asks, how can you set up private consulting with me? Sydney, if you look at the link in this, if you look at a link in the description, you're going to see a link that'll take you to my website. You go to DCFIOnline.com. And under the contact us page, you'll be able to contact a member of my team, and you can schedule based on my schedule and my availability. But right now, I'm pretty backed up, to be very candid with you. But that's because I wasn't feeling too hot today, but it is what it is. All right. All right, let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so let's see. Thank you so much for participating. All right, Kevin says, thank you, you're very welcome. All right, K2 says, love it, you're very, very welcome. So Rahem says, Rashonda says, cash is king. Me sounds like me, that's Johnny Ty says, cash is king. Morgan says, cash is king. Kevin says, cash is king. All right, Brian says, cash is king. All right, Conscious Ether says, cash is king. All right, Stanley Blackman says, cash is king. Now, people say cash is king, but credit is queen. And a man can't do nothing without his woman. He can only get so far, okay? So that being said, even though cash is king, and that used to be me, like I said, I had a lot of old negative things that were on my credit report till I had them removed. Now remember this, I'm giving you 5 tips. Now I'm gonna have a course that's gonna break everything all the way down. So what happens is this. When you have old negative items that are on your credit report, all right? They're old and they're dormant. And let's say, for instance, cash is king and your income tax comes around, or you decide to save up a good amount of money and you save up your money and you say, you know what, I'm going to clean up my credit. And the first thing that people think when they say clean up my credit, they want to pay off all of that debt. That is the second worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is get a secured credit card. The second worst thing you can do, this is going to jack your credit all the way up, is to pay old dormant debt. Never pay off old collections. Never pay off old collections. And this is something that banks do not want you to know. Never, ever, ever pay off old collections. Because what happens is, I'm about to give you guys a fancy term. And if you're watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button so the next time I'm live, you can catch me live. And also hit the subscribe button so when I do drop the next video, you'll get notified. And when I do release that free, it's gonna be completely free. When I do release that free course, you'll get notified of it. You'll have access to it. But what happens is that what the banks don't want you to know this, because I'm going to give you a fancy term, the quantitative algorithm. All right. Most people don't know why we do algebra in school. If you're in banking and finance, we're the only people that use algebra. Okay. The quantitative algorithm that makes up your credit score. All right. Your credit history. Your history makes up the largest percent. There are 5 factors that go into that algorithm that make up your credit score. And when you have your credit history makes up the largest amount. So what happens is that if you have an old credit that's been dormant, this is a secret that banks don't want you to know. Banks never look past 24 months. If you're purchasing a home, if you're purchasing a car, if you're getting a business loan, if you're getting a credit card, banks do not look past 24 months. All right? But when you take an old debt and you pay off an old debt, it brings new activity to that old debt and it sinks your score. So that's the reason why some people say, I tried to clean up my credit and it don't work, and I paid my bill and my credit went down. Why did I pay my bill and my credit went down? Because you took an old negative debt that was not looked at in the algorithm and you gave life to that debt. And now that old debt has resurfaced, and that old debt, now that it resurfaced, it has actually now tanked your scores. So what people did not look at it before, now it's being looked at again, and it's going to be looked at for another 3 months. So it's going to affect the quantitative algorithm for 3 months for it to recycle again. If that has been you and you've experienced that, even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to interact with me. I want you to say, ouch. If that's ever been you, if you paid off an old debt and you was like, Dean, how come my credit went down? I ain't know. And I did, I paid off my debt thinking I'm doing good and my credit went down. If that's you and you've experienced that, I want you to say ouch, whether you're watching me live or you're watching on the replay. So let's go ahead and look at some of these comments, see who's participating. All right, so Pretty Boy Randy says that I'm a salesperson like Boyce Watkins. Well, Pretty Boy, let me explain a couple things. Thing number one, I'm not like Boyce Watkins because Boyce Watkins has no experience. Boyce Watkins taught while I actually deliver. And I'm a salesperson, yes. I'm more than a salesperson, Pretty Boy. I am a CEO, which means that I own a business. So the same way that the CEO of the shirt that you're wearing, they're just a salesperson because they sell that shirt, or 9 times out of 10, you're probably staying in an apartment complex, or you're probably maybe staying with your baby mama. Well, the rent that your baby mama is paying, because you're not paying it because your credit not good enough, the rent she's paying, the person that owns that is a CEO too. So 9 times out of 10, Pretty Boy, that the car that you are probably, or maybe not even driving a car, maybe you might be riding the bus. The person that owns that bus, they're salespeople because they're a CEO. Now, Randy, what you didn't know, Pretty Boy Randy, what you didn't know was that I just said that I'm going to give out a course for free. And what you also didn't know, Pretty Boy, is that I just taught for 3 hours 2 days ago where I gave out free consulting. So another thing that you don't know, Pretty Boy, is that I give out as much free consulting and as much free advice so that ignorant Negroes like you will not burn bridges. So what I'm going to do, Pretty Boy, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you don't get my free content. So when that free course does come out, I'm going to make sure that you don't get it. So the email that you're using right now, don't use it if you want to get the free content. So that's what happens, Pretty Boy. So I don't know. I know that you're probably used to, I don't know if you're flipping burgers. I know you're probably working for somebody else, but when you own your own business and you are a CEO, then you are a salesperson. But the cool thing about this though is I sell my own product. And the product that I have, Randy, it has so much proven track records. So you probably missed the part where the people came in and said that credit score went up 100 points, and you also probably missed the whole playlist that I have on YouTube where people are getting $400,000, people are getting $100,000, $50,000, $60,000. So I have guaranteed results. So Pretty Boy, another thing that a salesperson is that phone that you're probably watching me on. Maybe it might be a Metro PCS, maybe it might be a Boost Mobile, or 9 times out of 10 is probably a very expensive iPhone that you can't afford. The person who created that is a CEO. So that's what happens when you're dealing with CEOs. They are salespeople because they create their own products. So that's the difference between Boyce Watkins and I. Boyce Watkins is selling hope, false hope. And Boyce Watkins teaches on rhetoric, and he teaches on hyperbole because he was a teacher, never originated alone a day in his life. Whereas for me, I am a CEO. I own a business consulting firm with a 98% approval rating. So so the difference between me and them, pretty boy, is that I have a proven track record of success. I don't get paid just to teach. I get paid to perform, which is why my course is successful as it is. So if you're watching me on the replay and like, Dean, you just decided to go off. Why'd you go off? The reason why I went off was two reasons. One, I am a real person. All right. And so I am not feeling the best right now, and I am teaching live, and I'm giving out free information when there are people that are begging to pay me for my time, and I have negative individuals to do silly things like that. So I apologize. Second thing is, if you look in the comments, I don't know if my moderators deleted the comment or not, but you can see the comment from the pretty boy. Whereas, and that's probably another reason why the pretty boy doesn't understand, because we're not boys on this channel. We're men. And if you are someone that is a boy, then you come to this channel and you become a man. You put away childish things. The number one best-selling book of all time says, when I was a child, I thought as a child. I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. So that's what you have to do on this channel. This channel is dedicated specifically for that. So I said that I was going to go live for 30 minutes, and I've been going live for 41 minutes. So let me do a quick recap. Let me get back on track. So the first thing is, do not get secured credit cards like Pretty Boy over there. Somebody, his baby mama might give him his allowance. You know, he living off of a woman. A pretty boy might get an allowance of, $300, $500. And he goes and get a secured credit card. You don't want to do that. So the first thing that you do not do, because if you do that, then you're going to be in a high risk category. It's kind of like Pretty Boy there. All right. So after you're in that high risk category and you have negative credit, like Pretty Boy there, then what happens is it's going to be more difficult for you to get past that unless you know the tricks of the trade. All right. I'm going to teach you the tricks of the trade. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you go and get secured lines of, you go and get unsecured lines of credit with larger limits. All right. The second thing is that when you're in a higher category, when you're at 70%, so let's say for instance, Pretty Boy, he might want to try to go and impress another girl so he can have like a fourth or a fifth baby mama, something like that, whatever the scenario might be for Pretty Boy. Let's say for instance, he go and he maxes out his credit card. He goes to City Trends, or he goes and buys some Jordans that he can't afford. So he maxes out his $500 credit card or whatever. And now he maxes out the $500 credit card. And that $500 credit card, trying to buy 3 pairs of Jordans, that $500, he maxed out his card. He's above that 70% mark. So when you're above that 70% mark, the ideal optimal place you want to be is at 20%, at 30%. 15% is when you're hitting on all cylinders. But at 30%, you're doing really good. So you don't want your balance to go above that 70%. Second strategy. The third strategy that I talked about is don't go and rekindle. Sorry about that, guys. Don't go and rekindle old negative credit, because when you go and you rekindle old negative credit, what happens is that your credit is they only look at your credit for 24 months. After that 24 months, then what happens is that that now goes back into that quantitative out. Guys, I apologize for that. I'm like I said, I'm here on business. The people that I'm actually doing business with, that are calling me, they don't know that I'm live. They know that I wasn't feeling well, so I'm about to get ready to go. So listen, I'm going to finish this up, but remember, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the share button, participate if you're watching this on the replay. And in 10 days, everybody besides Pretty Boy is going to get a free course. Now, Pretty Boy, I'm teasing. I'm not going to do you like that. I don't have the time or the resources to do that. So I'm not going to do that. I have the resources, but it ain't worth my time. Pretty Boy, I want you to get my free course, so that way maybe you can see that there's really an opportunity for you to be not a pretty boy, but a handsome man. Let's do that. So nevertheless, so I got to hurry up and get ready to go. But the strategies that I'm saying is the next thing that is the secret is that old debt you don't want to pay. So Dean, how do you get rid of old debt? The way that you get rid of old debt, there's actually letters that you can file. They call them 609 letters. A lot of people don't know the right jargon to use. All right. Now, I'm going to show you guys how you're able to get access to certain information so that you can actually file that information so that you can get that removed. Now, the other thing is that your credit history makes up majority of your credit. I'm going to show you how you can legally buy trade lines that will boost your credit legally. There are legal ways that you can use seasoned credit from other individuals to buy credit. And I have to leave on that note. I'm talking too long. My food is getting cold, and I have to call somebody fairly quickly. So if you're watching this on the replay, hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you hit a thumbs up. And if you like Pretty Boy and you mad, hit the thumbs down, leave a nasty comment, and go find a cat video or find a big booty girl walking video. Do one of those. But everybody else that wants to learn how they're able to restore and repair their personal credit, make sure this is after the 10 days, there's a link in the description that will take you. It'll say free course. All right, it's a link in the description that'll take you there. If it's not the 10 days, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that when that comes out, you will be notified. Listen, the only person stopping you from being successful is you. Not pretty boys, not trolls, not stomach viruses or stomach flus, but you. You can push through anything that comes your way, not even bad credit. You can repair and rebuild and restore and create successful credit history and good credit to buy whatever your heart's desire, as long as your heart is in the right place. Listen, go get them. Success is waiting for you.